Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we proudly present our spectacular show of podcast magic and imagination full of Disney wonder, news, and pop culture. It's the Main Street Electrical Podcast with Jenn Dave and David Dollar.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, Dave.
It's the Main Street Electrical Podcast. You sound like you're whining at the end. Podcast. Close enough. Close enough. Welcome to the Main Street Electrical Podcast. That is Jen and I am Dave. Episode 193 as we are inching ever closer to 200. It's almost here.
I can't believe it.
I know, right? And top of the show, of course, we have to ask Jen. I have to ask you, how did you Disney this week? But I'm going to assume, and I'm not going to just throw this on you, but I'm going to assume you Disneyed by getting prepared for the trip that's coming up. And, well, actually, when you guys hear this, it will have been going on since yesterday.
Yeah, correct. I mean,
we will have already seen each other, possibly eating at the Yachtsman.
Very possibly.
With your spouse and Kyla, and her spouse, and then just me, because my lovely Stephanie Ann doesn't get there till Friday. And then Thursday, I think we're at, where are we eating Thursday? I keep asking you that because I keep forgetting. Is it Rose and Crown? Yes. So today, when you're hearing this on release day, some at point in time will be at Rose and Crown. So, having said all that, am I assuming that's how you've Disneyed? Is you're just running around like crazy, like getting things prepared?
No. Yeah, that is essentially what I am doing. That's literally how have I not Disneyed this week?
Very true.
Of course, this is a team event.
Yep.
Where, yes, a lot of us are doing the race on Friday. And then Saturday, we have now announced we are doing sort of an Amazing Race-ish thing through the parks. Yes, we can't run. It's in the parks. It's frowned upon. We do not run. We can briskly walk. And we can do, there are lists of things for the teams to accomplish. And yes, there is team rivalry if you are watching our social media right now.
Yes. Well, I mean, what Jen has done is there are 16 of us that are attending from the team of about 25 or so, 26, something like that. And she broke it up into teams of 4. So there are 4 teams that are starting, 1 in each park, and we will go through a list of challenges and different tasks to be taken. Now, Jen has not told me anything. She's told Kyla everything as far as I know. I'm just kidding. You probably haven't. I don't know. But I haven't heard anything, but I'm assuming, and you don't have to say this, but I'm guessing it's things to take a picture with and make sure you sample this and whatever. And of course, we will be posting these things all along.
Posting
points as they
photographic evidence is required. And
exactly,
actually, my team, because quasi-producer Heather is running the 10K on Saturday morning. So I am actually, our team looks like it has 5 because I stand in as Heather's fill-in.
Right.
Until, and as I told everybody, it is not an advantage. If anything, it's a disadvantage because Jen doesn't rope drop.
Right.
Jen doesn't.
So Jen Ray actually may not even be there till like 10 a.m. All right, team, I'm here. Yay, here we go. Let's start. Or you will drag yourself in with a big cup of Joffrey's going, I'm here. I don't know why I did this thing so early. But yes, of course, the 5K is on Friday. It's now become a tradition 2 years in a row. In the South, especially at a church, 2 years in a row becomes a tradition. So I'm assuming it's going to become a tradition for hopefully our team, or once a year we do a marathon of some sort, whether it's the Princess or not. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll be doing all of that. Now, Wig Salute, tonight, we're recording this on a Tuesday. So tonight is the final episode of one of our favorite podcasts, the Imagineers podcast with Susie and Matt. We got wind that Matt is going to be co-hosting the Travelmation podcast, which is a big podcast for the Travelmation travel agency. And I know several people from there. We know several people from there, and they're very, very good people. Matt's moving on to host that podcast. And with that, he said, and I quote, "I cannot host 2 podcasts. My wife would kill me." I get it. Trust me, as somebody who does 2 podcasts, I totally get it. As Stephanie has many times looked at me with those eyes of like, really? A podcast? Really? Tonight? All right. Yeah. So yeah, if I were to take on a third, it would be miserable for all of us. So salute to Matt and Susie. 234 episodes, I believe they've done since 2018. They've done some amazing work. They've been on our show several times. We've been on their show several times, and just great job. Applause to you guys. So well done. Well done. Our Walt would say, well done, my good and magical servants, which is probably blasphemy to say that. But today we're going to talk a little bit about the parks. We're going to talk about, of course, the 4 parks, and we're going to discuss the concept of touchables and untouchables, or removables, as I would say. And there are some things in certain parks that are just They're untouchable. And actually, thanks to Imagineers, I was actually scrolling through some of their episodes, and I was kind of looking at seeing some of the episodes that we have been on and some of my favorite episodes. And they did an episode many years ago about what the parks would look like, 100 years from now. Which ones would still be there? And I thought, which rides are actually untouchable? Which ones cannot be taken out? Obviously, Walt said that the park is always expanding and will never be finished. But there are certain attractions that we're like, you know what, just you can't touch it, right? So I thought, what if we came up with a list of these are the rides that are really untouchable? And when we say untouchable, Jen, you had said in the pre-show when we're talking, what kind of give me some parameters for untouchable? Like what can you do to them? What can you not do to them?
I would say like updates, because here's the thing: at some point, attractions can start to break down without maintenance. And I mean, obviously they keep them maintained, but then things can become out of date. Things like, so you could take the ride, leave the structure of the ride, leave the same theming, but maybe update it for, if maybe a movie has new IP,
or new technology has come out,
new technology that
new
would
ride
improve
vehicle,
it,
something like that. So
yeah, anything like that, like anything to improve the existing system, to make it more, what's the word I'm looking for? Relevant,
right, or modernized, or modernized, whatever.
Yes.
Make it work better. A great example. Great example would that be, and we'll get to Epcot in a minute, but I'm using this because I'm sure it will come up in conversation. Like Figment, that's been a topic of conversation.
Correct.
We can't say yes, it's untouchable, but that means you can gut the whole thing and make it a Strange World, a dark ride. No, you can't do that.
No, you can't. That is not correct.
But on the other hand, Splash Mountain, which is gone now, Tiana's Bayou Adventure. That's another example of if Splash Mountain were around, we couldn't say, well, we can take it out and put some brand new IP in there. No, you would have to leave it as is, just with updates. So that's what we're thinking. And we'll start with the easiest one of all, I think. It's probably Animal Kingdom, because it's probably got the least amount of rides and attractions that we would look at and say are untouchable. And kind of getting the concept of, Bob, Josh, Zach, the Imagineers, they've called our podcast and they're like, hey, Imagineers are not around anymore. So, you guys have to help me here. You guys, we need to talk about going into Animal Kingdom. We're redoing some lands, redoing some rides, some areas. We got to take some stuff out, and we're going to, but we have to designate some with a big marker or whatever that says you can't touch this. So can't touch this. Do. So Jen, what is your first attraction in Animal Kingdom that is just untouchable? You can't remove it, cannot be removed.
I mean, I feel like you're going to have the same one as me at some level. And I guess I didn't really rank these, but this one
they have to be ranked in
okay, good.
The same one, we'll kind of go along that.
Okay, the safari.
Yep, same.
Yeah, like literally, I feel like you cannot have Animal Kingdom without that safari.
That is Animal Kingdom. That is the Animal Kingdom.
That is Animal Kingdom,
right? I mean, it's the safari. It's like, why are you going to the Animal Kingdom? And that's a third or half of the actual park itself is the safari, which is bigger than Magic Kingdom by itself. I also have the safari on there as well. I've also got on the Untouchables list Expedition Everest. I don't think you can change it.
I do too.
I don't think you can.
I agree.
I think it's traditional. I mean, even if you were to I don't think you can retheme it because
no.
I mean, what are you going to put in there? The Abominable Snowman from Monsters Inc. I don't think you can do that. I think it's such a long old school ride now. It's just
I agree. No, I think that that ride was just everything about it. I mean, obviously maintenance. If at some point they decide like we're going to do a major overhaul, make the Yeti work again, I mean, like that's fine. But that's not a non-negotiable either. It's like, okay, well, we can just leave it as is. It's fine.
Gotcha. So, and this we're talking rides that exist right now, even if we know they're not going to be here soon or not. What's another attraction that's just untouchable for you?
Flight of Passage.
Same. I knew we'd have a lot of the same ones on here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Animal Kingdom as it's a large park land-wise, but attraction-wise, some of it is more like seeing the animals, which is wonderful. Like, obviously, we're not going to get rid of those, but we're talking like attraction.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same, and I feel as if Avatar is we've got the second movie that's come out. James Cameron has said the next one's coming out 2025, followed by 2030 or 2030.
Right.
We've got them coming out, but even if those movies don't do well, the whole Pandora area is just now an iconic land that Animal Kingdom has. And it's really, I think for fans, it's kind of the stand-in for what the Beastly Kingdom was supposed to be when Animal Kingdom first opened, which of course became Camp Minnie Mickey and then became, Pandora. So Flight of Passage, I think is a big deal. Kilimanjaro Safari, Everest. Another one on there that I have on my list that is kind of untouchable. And again, goes to your point of not a lot of attractions in Animal Kingdom. I think Festival of the Lion King. I don't think you can take that out. I just don't. I think that's one that it's it's important to the structure of Africa.
Sure.
Lion King is probably the movie that most resembles Animal Kingdom out of any other movie, and I think that is such a big part of Animal Kingdom, and that Africa setting is the Festival of the Lion King. So I'm going to say Festival of the Lion King is kind of untouchable.
Okay.
What's next
fair.
on your list?
I actually also went with a show, and I'm actually going to say Nemo. And yes, they did just modify it. Now, I'm going to put an asterisk by this one. I think there always has to be a great stage show there.
Yes.
At some point, I could totally see an argument for, okay, not Finding Nemo. There may be other IP, but in terms of like the puppetry, the pageantry, some of the original music, it being like a mini Broadway style show, I feel like that is kind of an important anchor in that area.
Right.
In the inside. I mean, if they wanted to bring back Tarzan Rocks, I wouldn't yell. But
of course. So we'll get to Nemo in a second, because I also had Nemo on a list, but we'll talk about that in just a second, because the fifth one on my list actually is the Conservation Station. Rafiq's, and this is also going to Oh, did you have it too? Okay, yeah.
I did too, yeah.
It's what the safari can't give you with the touching the animals, being around the animals. I think it does that. It also gives the kids something really to look forward to. There are great characters up there. I love the fact it's only accessible by train. You can't walk there. You can't take a boat there. You hop on that train to go up there to the corner of Animal Kingdom and back. And I think it's great. Yeah.
And I actually wanted to point out that, like, Walt's whole thing was trains, right?
Yes,
and so I think you
trains.
cannot get rid of the train to go over there. So.
And I love the train too, that it's all facing one way. You're all facing inside the park, so you get to see what they want you to see versus all the backstage areas and stuff like that, which I think is great. So let's talk about the removables. These are the attractions that, if they said, hey, we got to remove some stuff, give us a list of 5, I'd be like, okay, here are my 5. Now, I don't know that I want any of these to go away, but I'm going to touch on one you just said.
Oh, no, I want some of these to go away.
And that's Finding Nemo. I don't want it to go away. I love Finding Nemo.
Oh, no, clearly I don't want that.
But I feel as if, since they brought it down from the 40-minute show to the 20-minute show, I feel like it's lost a little bit of essence. And now I don't. And
I haven't seen it since.
I don't think it's as mandatory as it used to be. Honestly, I think it was a beautiful show with a great soundtrack, and now I think it's become more of a great show. It's a fun show, yay! But if they came along in 5 years, because Inside Out 2 wanted a stage show, I'm just making that up, not for Animal Kingdom or whatever. I think it would be something where African cats, Samuel Jackson did an African cat show with them because he did the narration for the movies or whatever.
How about it?
I'd be like, I get it. I miss Nemo, but it's not an untouchable for me. What's on your list?
Oh, my first one is like straight up, please take this away. Yesterday, Bug's Life. Bye. Bye-bye. That's
what I call
this list. Bye-bye.
I don't miss it. I mean, I don't want it to go away, but that's one that I'm like, we could probably utilize that space better, because it is weird. You cross over that hill and you come upon there's the Tree of Life, and it's a majestic, beautiful tree.
So beautiful.
330 something animals
Amazing.
in there. And you're like, oh, there's an attraction down there. Oh, that's great.
My gosh, I'm so excited.
And it's a bug insects theater show, which is
no, thank you.
Fun, but it's like,
no, it's
okay, all right, that's like. I get to Grand Floridian, and you got me an all-star room in here with a Murphy bed. All right, cool. I guess it's livable. That's fine. So,
Nope.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yep. Another one that's on my list, I think, is the Triceratops spin.
Oh, mine too.
I think it's useless.
Completely
in July,
pointless.
You're burning your skin. It's really nothing more than a Dumbo or an Aladdin's Magic Flight.
But
whatever.
like it's a subpar Dumbo.
Yeah. And the fact that it's in a hot sun, no, I've done it.
There's no shade.
One time only. Yeah. I'm giving shade to the fact that there's no shade to that ride.
Correct.
It's
that's a buy. That's a bye.
It's bad. What else is on your list for the removables?
This might be too large a thing. Like, essentially, Dino Land. Like, essentially
the whole thing. Just take the whole thing out.
I mean, they're not like. Okay, yes, but the whole hurdy-gurdy dinosaur carnival, no, let's use that space for something else. And
I had dinosaur on mine as well.
Dinosaurs on mine too. So if we just
I'm
want to
not as enamored with that attraction as so many people are. They're like, I love dinosaur. I'm like, I could go 3 trips and not ride it and be okay. I mean,
and listen, when it was Countdown to Extinction, when it was CTX, it was better.
Yep,
it was better at CTX. And then it's fine now. I'll ride it. But I feel like Indiana Jones is like so much better in Disneyland.
Right. Or really anything. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. We had that discussion a long time ago. Do it old school.
Let's do it.
I mean, that would be great.
Old school.
And we can have a whole discussion about maybe another episode about what could go in Dino Land, some ideas for that. But yeah, my last one, honestly, is the Navi River Journey. It's it's beautiful, but it's pointless. There's no point to the ride. You're wading down the river, and you're like, "Oh, I'm in this Pandora land.
I agree with that.
Look at all the bioluminescent lights and the 3D images, and there's the animatronic that they spent so much money on that doesn't work half the time. Yay!
I agree.
I mean, it's so yeah. Out.
That wasn't on mine, but it could have been.
Yeah, we had Dinolands the whole. Anything else on your removable list?
Cali River Rapids.
I thought about that, and I thought, like, to me, they would take that ride out to build a better water ride because Animal Kingdom needs a water ride.
It needs a water ride. I agree.
That ride sucks.
But that's my point.
So short and nothing. It's just
like I expected so much, and like you could talk conservation and the whole, like you could still have the message with way better theming.
Right.
I'm like, what? So like I'm looking at clear cuts that like, no, this is it. And then you might get drenched, but you might barely get wet. But then no.
Right.
No, I'm sorry. It's not a great ride.
I feel like that attraction is kind of like the way I look at that attraction, the way you look at Bug's Life, is like I have no use for it. I don't care about it. Take it out. I'm fine with it. And it's just I don't want to get wet. I don't like it wet because I don't like chafing in the parks. Let's move over to Hollywood Studios now. Let's talk about the Untouchables. And again, I think Magic Kingdom will be the one where we really may or may not veer off.
Possibly, yeah.
But at Hollywood Studios, my first Untouchable is Tower of Terror. How can you? You cannot take out the icon of the park. You can't. You just can't do it. You can't.
And I'm sorry, I'm not even down for a retheme on this one.
Mm-hmm. No,
I'm not.
Me either. And I think that anybody who's like, maybe they should retheme it. No, you shouldn't retheme it to anything. It should stay what it is. If anything, open that lobby and let people walk through that lobby. And what if they did like Tower of Terror tours where like they do with behind the scenes stuff? And
oh my gosh, I would pay for that.
I pay like $80 for like a 2-hour tour behind, and you see the machinations of it, how it works. And
listen, I want to put on like period vintage clothing and have a photo shoot in that lobby. Like, that'd be amazing. I'm sorry, I want to look at every detail. I love it.
That'd be great. What else you got on your list for the Untouchables at Hollywood Studios?
All right. I don't know. I might get shade for this one. Mm-hmm. I threw Muppets on there.
Okay.
Listen, it needs an update. I want them to update it, but I feel we have to have Muppet representation in this park. I do not think getting rid of the Muppets is the right idea. So
and I don't think they will. I know people are like, well, the show's so dated, and I think it's come to the point now where that's kind of the beauty of it, how dated it is. Yeah. Especially that last scene where the fire truck comes through and you see the balloons in the back and everybody's outfits and stuff. I don't have it on either of my lists because this is, as we move to the parks with more and more attractions, there will be like this gray area of attractions in the middle where they're not removable or untouchable.
Yeah.
I can see an argument for changing Muppets to something else, but only if they have something else for the Muppets. Not like, let's take that out. Like, you give me something else for Muppets, let's chat. I have Slinky Dog Dash. I think that has become an integral part of now that I'm thinking about it, I should have said Toy Story Mania, but I'm going to go with Slinky Dog. I think
I agree with that.
Integral part of that land, Toy Story Land itself. And I think Toy Story Land is such a great part of Hollywood Studios now. It just is. And so Slinky Dog is kind of the centerpiece. And so Slinky Dog is on my list.
That's fair. That's fair. My next one is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
I have that one too.
Yeah,
I have that one too. I do.
You know what? And I loved Great Movie Ride, but I feel like the fact that this is so iconic, Fab Five, like literally Mickey has an attraction.
Yep.
It's so innovative the way they worked it. And again, at some point, could they update it if like more technology comes out or if they want to like throw in some other Easter eggs? Totally. It also has a train in it, which again, Walt and the train. I think it's just such a great attraction.
Well, they go back and forth between the tower and the Chinese theater as the kind of the icon of the park.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that Mickey is the star of Hollywood Studios. Mickey and Minnie and their vintage costumes, Goofy, and it's the new school. I love Goofy in this. I love the theme song is an earworm. Nothing can stop us now.
Oh, I love it.
Like, I love that. Although when I first heard that was the name of the song, I was like, is that the Starship song? And we can build this thing. Weird, but and Steph loves the little yellow bird at the very end. That's one of her favorites.
Oh, I love the little birdie.
So little birdies. I have that on my list.
Brady likes the sunshine. Boom,
boom, boom, boom, boom, boom. We'll take that breath and stuff. I think One Man's Dream is untouchable. I do because I think that is Walt's ride, Walt's attraction.
Yeah.
I mean, like, but for Disney files, for Disney noobs, and even for clients, I tell my clients, I'm like, when you have a chance, walk through One Man's Dream. So walk through, go at your own pace, zip through it, don't zip through it, whatever. but I think it's so important to keep the history of this entire thing somewhere where people can see it. There's an argument to be made that maybe you could move that to Magic Kingdom. Maybe the firehouse could become One Man's Dream or something.
Yeah, I could see an argument for that.
But yeah, I think you have to keep One Man's Dream.
I
something
agree.
very similar to that. So
no, that's fair.
Untouchable.
That's fair. I went back and forth on this one, but I'm going to go with it. I think the Falcon at this point is untouchable.
I wasn't sure about either of the Star Wars attractions.
Yeah,
they're gray area for me.
It was great. You know what? But I decided to go for it, and I was like, you know what? Because I think the Falcon was the thing that everybody was so excited for.
Right.
Whenever Galaxy's Edge opened. Now, do I think that again, can they retheme and kind of change the storyline? Absolutely. But I think something inside of the Falcon in terms of piloting the Falcon has to remain an option. Again, I don't care if they like somewhat change it.
Well, I think, I mean, they do set it up where, and this is maybe like Universal, maybe their grand scheme of things, where you can change the quote unquote movie out. Like you have to change the narration, you have to change a lot of the functions and stuff. But if they redid it, Millennium Falcon on an all new mission. And as maybe, I don't know if they're doing this, but maybe they might start pulling away from the sequel trilogy and start putting more traditional stuff in. Suddenly you're doing the Kessel Run or something like that.
Oh my gosh! Or have it like as an option, like with Star Tours. Like how amazing would that be?
You don't know what you're getting into. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I also have Star Tours as an untouchable. I think it's the OG.
I do too.
I think it's the OG ride. I think it's just the cornerstone of the Star Wars empire in Disney. That's the first attraction that was put in after George Lucas, started partnering with Disney. So Star Tours, I think, is untouchable. And so I've got Tower, Slinky, Railroad, Star Tours, and One Man's Dream. And you have Tower, Railroad, Falcon, Star Tours, and Muppets. Is that correct?
Muppets. Yep, that's correct.
The removables. This one's easy. Lightning McQueen, the Radiator Racer. I really,
straight up, yes.
I feel like it's a fill-in. I mean, it's a great little attraction. And I feel like it's like, okay, you know what? We got $144,000. Let's just put this in and we're done. I mean, and just make it so it's a people eater. It's for kids like it, whatever. It's over in the corner. There's a lot of people don't even know that exists. I mean, really, it like.
I mean, honestly, it is kind of hidden.
Yeah. So yeah, let's
that's on my list as well. So
you're fine. So what's next on your list?
Right. Next on my list, the Disney Junior dance thing.
Yeah,
I don't even know what that is.
That too. Disney Junior live on stage. Also,
there we go. That's the one.
And maybe it's just because my kid is 12 and you don't have children other than all 28 of us. I don't know that Disney Junior has the power that it had before. Like, I don't know of any of the new characters. I don't know of any of the new shows. That's all so much as streaming now, honestly.
I mean, honestly,
like the heyday of the Fancy Nancy, the Handy Manny, the PJ Masks, all those Dr. McStuffins, and a lot of those characters you'll still see there. And it's like, your show hasn't been on the air for 4 years and you're still there. I don't know. And so,
I don't care.
But
that's terrible. Like, I guess.
Okay. Take it out.
I don't care.
You're right.
I don't care.
I've got Rock and Roller Coaster. And I don't mean to remove the whole attraction, just retheme the whole thing. Just take it all out. Get rid of it. You want to build something else there, that's fine. Remove half the ride, rebuild it. Just it's time. Aerosmith is such a tired property. And unlike the Muppets, which is very dated, but that's part of the charm, or Carousel Progress, which is very dated, but part of its charm.
Yeah.
Aerosmith, it's like in 20 years, I don't think that's going to be there. I think they'll do something else with it.
That one for me is rough because I love it and I'm not ready to put it in the bye-bye category, but it's in my gray. That one's in my gray.
An argument, and I would say that the gray area is an argument can be made to remove it. You don't necessarily want to see it moved, but you would be willing to have that discussion.
Yes, I'm willing to have the discussion.
Our Untouchables, like your tower, stuff like that. You know what? Don't talk to me. Yes. I don't want to talk about these. We're not removing them. There's discussion's over. What's for dinner?
Correct.
So yeah.
Correct.
So I had Rock and Roller Coaster. What's next on your list?
Next one on my Alien Saucer.
Yeah, I think it's a fun ride, but you can do something else. It's fine. It's like I'm apathetic about it. If they're like, we want to put something else there, okay, or we're going to leave it there, okay, that's fine. I mean, whatever. I could care less about the ride. It's great. It's fun.
I literally don't care.
It's this last one for me, maybe somewhat of a controversial attraction. I'm fine if we take the indie show out. I am. It's
okay.
I feel like
had that one, but I was like, is this too controversial?
It is, but I'm just like, it's a fine show. It's great, but I feel like we could do so much more with the indie, especially if we put indie over at Animal Kingdom. that's a huge theater we could do something with or build something there. So,
I would be very open to that, to moving Indiana Jones to Animal Kingdom to still have representation there because I love Indiana Jones, and putting something else in Hollywood Studios.
Right.
I would totally be down with that.
As long as they have representation, but then again, if they came back and were like, you know what, we're going to take Indiana Jones out of the parks for a while, I don't know that I'd be mad about it. I mean, I love Indiana Jones. My kid knows nothing about Indiana Jones. Most people under 20 know, like the new generation of Disney fans could care less about Indiana Jones. So, let's turn that into something else. I'm fine with it. Anything else on your list of removables?
No, there are a couple of other hot takes that I was debating, but
like what? What didn't make your list that you almost said?
I'm gonna get hate mail though.
Maybe
Phantasmic.
I'm fine with that too. You know what? I actually didn't think about that, and I might have written that down instead of Indy. It's a tired show for me. Now I haven't seen the new version. I haven't seen
the new version is better.
I might try to see that this week, but
I would say it is better. It has definitely revitalized somewhat, and I do like a lot of the music.
Right.
But I'm just like, it had its moment. I'm ready for something new to go there. I feel like an entirely new. I wouldn't be mad about it. Like, unlike Happily Ever After, which no, I'm not done with that show.
Right.
Like, do not take that show. No, we're not ready.
Right.
And that's how you always say, oh, you hate Illuminations. No, I didn't hate it. It was just, it had its run. I was ready. I'm like, no,
you did like the Little Mermaid attraction, Voyage of the Little Mermaid, more than was Illuminations. Yeah,
that was just because I forgot. And I had to.
That was the episode 100, like 2.5 years ago for the Imagineers. So when your controversial take that I'll never get over. That's a dead horse I'm going to beat forever. So yeah, I'm fine with Phantasmic 2 going away. Again, big area, you could do something with it. Another stage show. I don't know what you put there, but do a World of Color kind of show. My goodness, that'd be amazing. Something like that. Epcot. This is a fun one. This is going to be fun here.
This one is.
I came up with 5 fairly easy to keep. I actually had a problem with 4 that I'm like, I'm okay getting rid of these.
I know.
What's your first one on? Because we're going to have a lot of this the same too. I think
we are.
First one to keep. Your
keep my Untouchables.
Untouchables. Okay. Yes. Epcot.
Figgy.
Okay.
And again, I am okay if you restore him to his original glory with the Dreamfinder. You are absolutely allowed to revamp that ride because the ride in its current iteration is subpar. I will give you that. If you want to put Inside Out in there with Figgy, down with it. Yes, all day. Do not get rid of Figgy. He has to have that location. The Imagination Pavilion is his. Don't mess with Figgy.
Don't mess with Figgy. My first one is Soarin'. I think Soarin' is incredible. I think it's an incredible attraction. I always go back to 2007, the first time I rode it. My grizzled father-in-law, who did not want to be there at Disney World, but he was there with his entire family. We got off the ride. It was our first ride that morning. We had fast passes for it. We got off the ride, and my father-in-law, at the time in his 50s or whatever, was like, that's a pretty good way to start a morning. So I was like, that's the best compliment you can get, Disney. Soarin' is amazing. Okay, so top of your head, do you like World or over California? Which version?
California.
Do you like? Me too. Listen,
I like the World one is fine, but that was the one that stole my heart.
I think it's because of the leaning out, the Tower of Pisa.
There's too much CGI.
The Eiffel Tower. Yeah, that and just
there's too much CGI.
If they had done a proper setup of the attraction where everything like the Tower, the Eiffel Tower wasn't leaning over to kiss you goodbye, I think that would be different. But I go California as well. Untouchable for you next.
So Spaceship Earth is going to go another one, and it's
same.
Again, it can go back. I understand at some point Dame Judi Dench will not narrate. It'll hurt my heart a little bit, but I understand. Like, it'll be somebody else, and I want the scenes to be back at the end, and it still it has to be about your journey through like communication or technology or something. Don't mess with it.
I'm fine if you close that ride for 2 years and just rehaul the entire thing, but you keep the basis of the ride, journeying through, like you said, the journey through all of it, just keeping what it is. I think that's necessary. Another one of my Untouchables, I think Guardians is untouchable now. I think Guardians.
I put that one on too.
For the amount of money they spent on it and how much people love that attraction. That is truly one that competes regularly with Universal roller coasters. It is such a great concept and a great coaster. And I love it. And it's really the taste of the Avengers in Disney parks that you're not going to get anywhere else because the whole Avengers thing, whatever, contractual stuff.
And I just think it's just like so innovative. And so that one was definitely on my list. And as new of an attraction as it is, it's untouchable at this point.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
Final one on your list.
American Adventure.
Oh, I didn't think about that. You're right. American Adventure.
It's such a great
I think it's better than Hall of Presidents. I'll be honest with you.
Oh my gosh. I would go watch American Adventure every day before. I know. Right? Meanwhile, it's like presidents are controversial, but like I don't know. I have no use to go into the Hall of Presidents except once every 4 years, essentially.
Right. Or 8 sometimes.
4 to 8. Right. Okay, 4 to 8, depending on the situation.
Right.
So only because I want to see whatever new animatronic, and then I'm like, okay, I'm good for 4 to 8 years.
I mean, it really is like I just want to be able to tell my clients about it. Yeah, it's good. I've seen it.
Yeah, they did some updates. What was
take a nap, wake me up on the and it's Hall of Presidents. To be fair, it is a good show. It's just not my favorite, and
correct.
American Adventure. You're right on that.
But American Adventure is amazing.
It is amazing, and I kind of wish I'd written that down, but I'm going to go with what I have here.
Okay, what do you have?
I wrote down the Grand Fiesta Tour.
I love that ride.
It is a great attraction. It's
so good.
Is it the first one? I mean, it wasn't kind of the first one in World Showcase, or was that Maelstrom? I don't remember. Because it wasn't Three Caballeros originally. It was something else. Just a tour of Mexico originally.
It was just a tour of Mexico, and that one actually was not very well received. And then they put the Three Caballeros in there. I want to say though, I don't know. It might have been simultaneous with
maybe.
They were both there as long as I can remember.
I love the fact it starts out. You ride around the restaurant of San Angelo, and it kind of is reminiscent of Pirates at Disneyland. And
it is.
It's just a fun song. It's an earworm. You hear culture. This thing's going on. I don't think you should touch it. I just don't think you can touch it.
No, I'm fine with that.
Is that your list, or is there anything else on your list?
Yeah, that was not. Okay. That was my list because we shared a few on that one.
Now there's a couple here that we're going to share. I'm sure. On the removables, you know what? Pixar Film Fest, it's time to go. It's Disney. You have ridden this donkey for 20 years.
Way too long.
It's time to be like, you know what? We got to put something else in this theater.
Can we please put anything in that theater?
Captain EO is not coming back. Even if you did Honey, I Shrunk the Audience for a summer, I'm fine with it. Let's do something else.
Yeah.
Because all it is right now is people go in there to get out of the heat, to sleep, and to move. I mean, even with the Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, at least the theater moved. It kind of gave you a 3D
like an
sensation.
Inside Out thing. Like we could certainly do something with Inside Out in that. Right. I really think we could.
And honestly, if you're gonna do it, let's change the movies up. We've had the same 3 movies forever. What I think they should do is they should have about 10 films on rotation. Just constantly picking one after the other.
No, but that means they're going to keep it.
Much like the Awesome Planet they just run it constantly. So you come in and sit down, and you leave when you're ready. You watch all of them, you leave, whatever. Just a constant.
Okay,
there is no pre-show. You just come in and you have a seat and whatever, and whatever.
I mean, that would be better
come
than
and go
the current
kind of
iteration.
thing, something like that. You had Pixar Film Fest. What else do you have on your removables?
I'll go in the order of. I'm gonna wait for my hot takes. The movie in the China Pavilion. Honestly, I've never seen it, so that's why I got my removals. I'm like, man, whatever.
I mean, well, I also had the Beauty and the Beast sing along. Honestly,
I do too.
You're telling the story from LeFou. That's not really the story. I get you're putting a different angle on it, and it's fine, but it's just like whatever. Who cares?
So that's 3 of mine. Yeah,
it's like Pixar. You go in and sit down, and you're like,
bye.
Whoever.
No use.
I guarantee there's one that I know you have on your list, and that is going to be.
You know that I have one on my list.
I'm sure you have Mission Space on your list.
Oh, Mission. Oh, yeah. Okay. I was like, is there another one I'm missing? Yeah, Mission Space.
Well, I think I know what the other one's going to be too, but Mission Space.
Okay. Mission Space is definitely on my list.
These are the attractions. Now we're getting to the part of this.
Now we can't get rid of Space 220.
No, Space 220. But
Mission Space.
Do something else with it. Mission Space is a great idea in theory. Again, I think we've done it now for 20 years. I think it's like, let's do something that's not vomit inducing. Let's do something that I can do more than once in a day now that I'm getting older. I love the theory
behind
it
and redo it entirely. Something space themed, great.
And bring back Gary Sinise. What the heck? Yeah. Where's Lieutenant Dan?
Lieutenant Dan should be correct.
I need his magic legs. Come on.
Yeah.
So hot take. What's your controversial hot take as you're nearing the end of this list? What are you going to say? Test Track?
I'm going to get hate mail again.
Test Track. I almost wrote that down.
Listen, and I'm not throwing shade on Test Track. I'm just saying, with as much as it breaks down, as many issues, we could easily take it out, rebuild it again. Listen, World of Motion was great. Now it can be like a more updated World of Motion.
Well,
Something like
apparently
that.
that's what they're going to go for when they do the refurb again. Is kind of go back to some of the roots instead of the neon Tron track they were trying to do with it.
Let's
which would be good.
Bye.
And really, all anybody cares about is that 60-mile-an-hour run around the track at the end.
The rest of it is like whatever. We're just
there should be an option of let's just go straight to that.
Correct.
Here. Okay, so this is my controversial hot take, and Jen, please don't fire me.
Oh no.
The Imagination Pavilion, bulldoze it. You know what? Give Figment a ride somewhere else. Put Figment, give Figment a different ride. Put him in Mission Space.
With you, David.
Do Mission Space. I don't do something else with it. But you know what? I mean, they're not going to fix it. Just take the whole thing out and start completely over. Give us a brand new attraction. Give us something else. I'm fine with removing, the Figment ride and all that. It's time. Because it's tired. And Dr. Nigel, what's his name? Hawthorne, just is creepy in the moon thing. It's just whatever.
That's why I said get rid of the current version of the ride. True. It needs to be a new version.
I would say just do the whole thing over, and I'm fine with gutting the whole thing, like demolishing the entire building. And
I want it to look the same. New. I love that iconic little pyramid.
We can leave it. Well, yeah, let's just get it. It's done. So now we go to the fun one. Magic Kingdom, where there are something like 20 something attractions. So we're gonna have a lot in our gray area here. Jen, your first Untouchable.
People Mover.
Oh, that's good. I didn't even have People Mover down. Oh, good call. Oh, now I'm like looking at our list going, I'm not gonna change my list. I'm not gonna change it, but that's essential because one of the things we have a leg up on in Disneyland is we have the People Mover and they don't. And
that's right.
Yeah, they tried to redo it with Rocket Rods, and
it was a
disaster. People Mover, essential. Jen, what do you love about the People Mover? What is it about the People Mover that makes you go?
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. So Tomorrowland is kind of my favorite land. Only just from a standpoint of I love the background music. Right. I love just the whole retro-y vibe of it, and we're gonna get to some things later that I want to change, but I love how it's like relaxing. Around Tomorrowland, I get to see I get to people watch and see all of the things from a bird's eye view. I don't know. It's just a great ride. If that's the only thing I do in a day, I'm good. I'm like, yeah, okay, it is People Mover.
I will stay with Tomorrowland and I will say Space Mountain. Because I don't like I don't love Space Mountain. I like it, but I don't love it. But that's one of those things that's Tomorrowland. It is Disney.
It's on my list too, actually. Whenever keep talking about it,
whenever we are doing quotes and stuff in our system, and our system is kind of slow because it's overloaded with people, what icon do we get a lot of times? Space Mountain. I mean, it's just you got to keep Space Mountain. You can't get rid of it. And
if you're thinking about the Magic Kingdom, you have the castle, right? Obviously, is the icon.
Right.
What's the other thing they use? Space Mountain.
Well, and it's like there's a couple of garbage websites out there inside the Magic that. Like they will, because Disneyland Paris is redoing Space Mountain. Is it Disneyland Paris or okay?
Tokyo. No, Tokyo. Tokyo.
And I mean, they're going to close it for like a year and a half because they're redoing the entire attraction. Something that's going to be amazing, right? And so these garbage websites give these headlines: Space Mountain closed indefinitely, guests turned away, and of course people freak out. They're like, "I love Space Mountain." You click on it at the very bottom, you have an entire whatever. Click at the bottom, it tells you Disneyland, Tokyo, whatever, But people freak out because no, don't close my Space Mountain. So yeah, Space Mountain is an Untouchable. You had it on your list. Also on my list, Haunted Mansion.
On mine too?
Yeah, I figured it would be. I don't think you can touch Haunted Mansion. I agree. I just feel like it's iconic. It is a big deal. What do you love about Haunted Mansion? What is it about that attraction that just you're like, don't you touch my HM?
Like, I mean, so literally as a child, I remember going through that and, with kind of fear and trepidation because you're like, oh,
of course.
but like I get to the ballroom dancing ghosts and just being obsessed with the ballroom dancing ghosts. Like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I love it. And I just think, well, and I love the background story of the Haunted Mansion and how Claude Coates and,
Mark Davis.
Thank you. We're going through and like how they kind of mashed all their ideas together. And I just think it strikes the perfect balance there. And I love the iconic look of it and just the whole storyline. I feel like it's so cohesive the whole way through. And they have done updates throughout. And I'm totally
Hatbox Ghost is there, and I have no problem. I have no problem with it replaced, honestly.
And I remember
I'm fine with it, but.
So this is funny. I remember back in 2006 because it was our honeymoon and we were on the backlot tour at Hollywood Studios. they had the paintings from the Haunted Mansion because guess what was being refurbished? The Haunted Mansion was being refurbished, and they had the pictures out. I was like, so anyway, I just think, and it's when they were putting in the Never-Ending Staircase.
Yes. So what else do you have on your list? You've got Haunted Mansion, People Mover, Space Mountain. You got 2 more.
Okay, now we're gonna get into these are things that were Walt, and don't get rid of it. And one is Carousel of Progress.
Okay.
And I can listen. I understand that last scene. We need, like, I'm great that they redid the costumes. Thank you very much. I can see arguments different ways about it, like, oh, we should do this and this to like kind of bring it up. That was a World's Fair thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Walt had his hand on that. His fingerprints there. Don't touch it.
Same with Small World, which is also on my list. I feel like that is a Walt 64 World's Fair, both that and Carousel Progress. I did not have Progress on there. That's on my gray area, reluctantly, because I only have 5 spots. Who had this idea for 5 spots?
She was David.
But it's a Small World. Again, not a ride that I enjoy a lot, but it's got Walt's hand all over it. Mary Blair's hands all over it. She is just an incredible designer. Of course, the contemporary, the lobby of the contemporary is based on a lot of her work and stuff. And just, you can't take out Small World. You just can't.
No, you can't.
So I've got Space, I've got Haunted, I've got Small World. My 4th one here is Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh,
Pirates.
That was almost on mine.
It's tough because there was a couple of that, that I could put on here. I mean, Pirates, I think it's just, I keep using the word iconic, but it's iconic. You think Pirates, you think Pirate Ride, you think Disney. I mean, out of any theme park, you think Disney. And Pirates of the Caribbean, and of course Jack Sparrow's there, which is, the iconic character and stuff, but I'm fine with that too. But I don't think you can take Pirates out. I'm slapping an untouchable tag on that.
That's fair.
What you got? People Mover, Haunted, Small World, Space, and you got 1 more on your list.
No, I didn't have Small World.
Oh, you didn't have Small World. Sorry, you had Carousel of Progress. Sorry,
Carousel of Progress. Tiki Room.
Ooh, good one.
Okay, and like again, Walt has his fingerprints on that.
Right.
The whole thing was like the birds breathe. I read that. I looked. The birds freaking breathe. Like literally, you can see their little chests. I love it. I think it's so tongue in cheek and funny. And I would just say, like, when it was the Tiki Room under new management, it was an abomination, and that might be why it caught on fire.
That's true.
It needed to go back to
is
the
Disney
original.
lore, such Disney legend, Disney lore status right there. The fire at the Tiki Room. What happened there? We don't know. We don't know what was happening
because it was terrible, and then they brought it back to its beautiful original glory, and that's what it should be. Just leave it.
My 5th one on my list of Untouchable, and this might come into play when they possibly do what's beyond Big Thunder Mountain, and that is Big Thunder Mountain. I think that is kind of, besides Space, I think Space and this are the 2 iconic coasters, maybe at Disney. Especially at Magic Kingdom. And I just don't think you can. I think you can revamp it a little bit. I think you can re-update it, but I don't think you can take it away. I think Big Thunder is, because that is Frontierland. That is Frontierland. I agree. So question: if Disney comes along and says, "Hey, we're going to build a Villain's Land, but to do so, for what we want to do, we have to completely redo Big Thunder, take half of it down, build something else there," would you be okay with it, or would you be like, "No, you're not taking down my Big Thunder"?
You're not taking down my Big Thunder.
Good thought. Yeah, same. I'm like, figure it out. Figure out another way.
Figure it out.
There must be another way. So, all right. So now we come to the removables, and I think some of these are going to be easy. Some of these might not be so hard.
One's very easy.
Yeah. Well, I think 2 of these. Well, 2 of these for me are
actually 2 of these are very easy.
Speedway. Yes, Speedway's on yours too.
Oh, Speedway's on mine. Okay, I'm going to be controversial. 4 of mine are from Tomorrowland. So
really? Okay. So Speedway is on my list.
Speedway 1,000%.
You know what? Maybe revamp it. Put in electric cars where there's no fumes, and make it Lightning McQueen and Mater and all that. That'd be amazing.
No,
I'd be all that.
Bye.
Just put something else there completely.
Just use that space for something else.
So you got Speedway. What else do you have on your removables?
Okay, and again, we prefacing this with Tomorrowland is my favorite land. I listen to that loop all the time. I freaking love it. So
even though you want to gut half of it, yes.
But I did it. I'm like, dang, why do I want to gut all of this? Like, this is so weird. Astro Orbiter.
Same. The queue is from hell and back. It's
just have it moving all the time and nobody ride it. Like
I wouldn't have a problem, honestly, if you took it and just dropped it down a story to the ground, like we have in Disneyland, where it's like it's right there. The queue wraps around and it's fine. That elevator is it's awful.
It's terrible.
And right now it's not so bad, but you know what? July, it's 96 degrees. We're all sweaty. It's the middle of the afternoon.
Disgusting.
The line, you get in there with a bunch of people that don't use deodorant, and and it's like you get up there and that fresh breeze hits you, but then the smell is wafting around you. You're like, and then you get on the ride. The ride lasts 90 seconds. And then you got to get back
down.
No.
Yeah, it's a no. It's a no for me, dog.
So I'm also going to say Tom Sawyer Island. I'm fine with it. Let's just do something else.
Oh, that hurts a little bit.
Nobody goes there. You don't go there. Nobody
yes, I do.
There. No, you don't. Nobody goes.
Yes, I do.
And so, it's
a great way to escape the crowds.
It is a good way to escape the crowds, but it's just like, it's almost like the keel boats at Disneyland. At what point in time do you go, I think we're done with the boats. People putting people in the boats in the water, especially the keel boats out there, which for people who don't know at Disneyland, you have to row your own boat. It's a canoe.
Have to row your boat.
You have to row your own boat. It's like,
you're like
the first time I did that, I'm like, you hand me an oar, and I'm like, wait, I'm actually doing this? What? So yeah, it's a little insane. So yeah, I'm fine. Just get rid of Tomorrowland. You're fine. What's next on your removables?
Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor.
Oh, yeah. That's a gray area for me. Gray area.
Listen, and I love Monsters Inc.
Mm-hmm.
No, because you know what? Here's the thing. Like, I'm thinking like way back, we had all of these great rides. There was the Timekeeper. We had, Dream Flight. We had all these things back in the day. It's getting tired.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm good with that. I'm going to go over to Fantasyland now. I'm okay with Winnie the Pooh going away. It's a dark ride. Replace it with a different dark ride. It's fine. It's, that's Pooh's presence in the park, but he's also Crystal Palace. So if you want to go see Pooh, go to Crystal Palace.
I'll go gray area.
This was tough for me. I mean, it's kind of a grayish, blackish area, but if you're like, we're going to remove Pooh and put something else in there, I'm okay. I'm okay with that. I'm fine with it. So last on your list here.
Wait, last? I have two more.
Two more. Go ahead.
I got two more.
Yep.
Buzz.
You're just killing Tomorrowland.
I know. Listen.
It's my favorite land. Let's take all of it out.
But it is. I just want it to be better. I want it to be better the way it used to be. Listen, Buzz, I used to really enjoy. Mm-hmm. That queue is awful.
It was not terrible.
The queue is awful.
I mean, if you have a Fast Pass or a Genie Plus or whatever, it's not.
That's the only way I will ride it.
And it's also a queue that continually moves, which is very helpful. It's continually moving.
Yeah. I'm okay. I don't. And then it's just like grubby. I don't know. It needs a zhuzh. It needs a zhuzh. So
it needs a zhuzh. So
it needs a zhuzh.
What else is on your last thing on your removable list?
I'm gonna get so much hate mail. Oh my god. The Castle Stage Show.
Yeah. I'm okay with it going away. It's just
what?
There's no point to it.
There's no point. Like, you're standing in the blazing hot sun. Again, there's no shade.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm not saying that the show itself is bad. Okay. Right. The show itself is cute. Okay. I'll hear it from a distance. It's cute. No issue with the show itself. But then everybody's just in the hub, and then you can't use the cut through.
Mm-hmm.
And no.
Yeah. So I don't think I think I've seen it like once ever. It's just something I don't watch very often. And I have to take off like a 10-minute break because I have to get the kid off the bus. So I was hoping we would get done, but I'm gonna have to take a break. So
why don't you pause it?
I will.
So here,
there we go. Okay, so I've got one more on my removable list, and I was taking your lead where you originally had Aladdin written down. But I just can't do it, honestly.
You are so full of
Well, I'm just saying, originally I was like, I just don't want to do that because I'm just going to push that off. I hate to say this.
Don't you try to throw me under the bus.
What? I'm just, this is how it works, right? Yeah. Honestly, this is tough because then what we got left? We got Peter Pan. I'm going to say Barnstormer.
I almost said Barnstormer.
I love Barnstormer. I do. But we've got Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and I feel as if Barnstormer is one level below Mine Train. And so for the small children who are trying roller coasters for the first time, Mine Train can become their first roller coaster versus Barnstormer. It's a quick ride. It's only like 54 seconds long. The line is always so long. You could do something else with that little space, make a splash pad, make like we had we have Casey's, but we have Casey's there, but you could do something else. So put Mickey and Minnie's houses back right there in the corner.
Yeah.
It'd be great. But So I'm going to say, reluctantly, I'm going to say Barnstormer, but not Barnstormer, but not Aladdin, like you told me to say, because I'm not going to say that.
David.
I'm just saying, I love Aladdin. I love Aladdin's Magic Carpets. I think it's an incredible ride. That was actually number 6 on my Untouchables list, but
oh yeah, okay, sure.
I'm just keeping it real, Jen. Just keeping it real. This was a little hard. Magic Kingdom was harder because there are those, like, honestly, there aren't a whole lot I'm ready to get rid of, but like Peter Pan is one that I could have put on my Untouchables, and
I could have put that one on there too.
I love PhilharMagic. I could see where people will be like, that's a removable, but for me, I love it. Dumbo, Mad Tea Party, those are ones I'm like, you want to touch those? I don't think you can because they're just so classic and amazing.
Well, you can't touch Dumbo. I mean, you can't touch Dumbo, but I just couldn't. I had to pick 5.
Right. I mean, you see Dumbo and you're like, wow, look at that trunk space. Check out that trunk space.
Oh my gosh.
Plus, I got the playground. So yeah, so there's all of that. So this was fun. This was good time. This was good. A little chat here about our removables and our Untouchables. So now we know which ones cannot be touched, which ones that you're ready to get rid of, and which ones are kind of in the middle somewhere. So, Jen,
listen, Josh, Bob,
Zach, Bob, anybody else over there listening up, listen to what we have to say here. So, Jen, we got a big week coming. Right now, we're in the midst of it. Tomorrow, when people are listening to this, tomorrow, of course, is our 5K. So, Jen, where can people follow you, but also follow the whole team?
Yeah, so you can follow me at Upon a Star Jen. On my personal Instagram at Jen_Novotny. And then you can follow the whole team. Everybody has different hashtags and different, handles that, for following for different teams, etc. Like my team is #Pascal's Gals. So, which will be a lot of fun. Quasi producer Heather is on my team. Yes. That said, Upon a Star Travel will be your spot where we have sweet Meredith, who is going to be keeping the page up to date on the antics of the teams. So follow our amazing race.
She caught some video of my workout routine for the 5K, and she's put it up as a reel, so that's kind of fun. Follow me on Instagram at @TheMagicOnlyDollar. You can find me on Facebook at MagicOnlyDollar and DisneyOnlyDollar as well. Of course, follow our third co-host, Kyla. She's at DisneyGeek27. And you mentioned Heather, our quasi-producer, at the Moana Mom, and of course, Upon a Star Travel and all the fixins and all the places and stuff. And we'll be posting not just the 5K and not just Saturday's events, but we'll all be posting food and ride reviews and different reels and videos and B-roll and just pictures of this, pictures of that, pictures of the team. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And of course, this all winds up on Sunday for you. Sunday evening, you're flying out back home with your boo, and my lovely wife is coming down Friday to spend the weekend with the team.
Yeah.
And then we will spend, Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday for our 20th anniversary, which, next Wednesday, when you're listening to this, is our 20th anniversary. So we're very excited about that. 2 decades in the making. So good times there. But thank you guys for listening to the show. This has been a lot of fun. Jen, as always, the best co-host around. Now that Imagineers is gone, you're definitively the best co-host around. We know this to be true. There you go. You're welcome. You're welcome. Best co-host, best podcast. We're glad you guys are listening. And don't forget to thank your Phoenicians, which of course are untouchable.
Thank you for listening to the Main Street Electrical Podcast. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at the MSE Podcast, or visit our website at themsepodcast.com. Be sure to subscribe, and may all your wishes come true.